Today's episode of the Just Keep Swimming podcast is brought to you by Audible. Audible is an online audiobook and podcast service offering over 10,000 books and the ability to listen to your favorite podcasts, including the Just Keep Swimming podcast. I personally use Audible all the time and suggest you take a listen to Intentional Living by John C. Maxwell. In this book, Mr. Maxwell shares his story on how he was able to live a noble and purposeful life and gives you tips and tricks so you can do the same. So please start your 30-day free trial now at www.audibletrial.com/JKS podcast, all lowercase. Again, that is www.audibletrial.com/JKS podcast. And if you have any more questions or concerns for the Just Keep Swimming podcast, you're always welcome to reach out to us on Facebook or on Instagram at justkeepswimming_podcast, or you can email us at jkspodcast702@gmail.com. And with that out the way, let's dive into it. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Just Keep Swimming podcast. It's your friend, your boy, your host, Mr. Adrian Jackson, and we back at it again with another great episode for you. And y'all knows with me, it's the man, the myth, the legend. It's Mr.
Twa,
aka
1-3.
Yes, sir. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing all right. Therapy was good this morning. I'm surprised I'm not super tired, given that I only had like 5 hours of sleep, 4 or 5 hours of sleep, but you know, we still kicking it and we're doing good. What about you?
I'm well, bro. Look, I'm vice versa. Like, I didn't have nowhere to do this morning. I feel like I'm still tired, and I didn't do shit today. Like, I woke up a little earlier. I started watching the old 1989 Batman out before I was born, and then shoot, as I was watching that, I made some breakfast. I took a little nap before I got over here, and I'm like, I'm ready to go take another nap.
Hey, shoot.
But I look at it as I'm still in recovery mode, so I still need heals, so my body's saying fixed it.
Right. I mean, that's how I was feeling after, like when I got sick. It just took a minute to kind of come back into the energy.
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that one, bro. But yeah, bro, it's good to have you back again. Yes, good to be back for another great episode.
Sure.
I think I got a pretty cool topic we can talk about today, definitely based off our, previous conversations we were having earlier today. So today's topic, I want to talk about attention to detail. I think, we all know in the world, it's very important to pay attention to the little things, but a lot of times we always only focus on the big things. And I kind of just want to focus on, the value of paying attention to the small details out there. And, how do you catch details? What does attention to detail mean to you? Stuff like that. You know how we go bounce around.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So my first question is going to be for you is when you hear the term attention to detail, what do you think of?
I tend to think of, I guess, just taking the time to understand the minute details of something. Like, example, when it comes to, like work. When I used to work at the bank, I mean, that's a job where you need tons of attention to detail just because you're dealing with people's accounts, their money, and all of that. Like,
down to the penny.
Yeah, like you can't. You can mess up, but like the work that it takes to revert that mess up is very time consuming. So you need to just make sure you have your P's and Q's in order. Just to minimize all of that extra effort that comes from the mistake because you didn't, pay attention to detail.
Right. I understand that one.
What about you?
Yeah. So when I hear the term attention to detail, the first thing that pops in my mind is a collage. Like, I always picture, there's a picture of a face, but then when you zoom in on it and getting closer and closer, all of a sudden you realize this face is created of a whole bunch of other little pictures, And it's like, you wouldn't have noticed that looking at the big picture, but then once you actually look at the small itty bitty part of it, you realize every little bit of this thing has a story to tell, So that's what I always think of, like, attention to detail, like really getting down to the small nitty gritty, the fine, the you know, the stuff that you don't even think matters that actually matters. You know, even the brush strokes of like a painting. Like that's what I think of when I think of attention to detail. You know, that's something I used to feel like. So when I was younger, when I used to color, I always colored in just coloring whatever direction I was coloring in. And I was always thinking like, why do people's pictures look better than mine, you know? But now that I understand attention to detail, it's because they're stroking all the same way. Yeah. I'm stroking in circles, I'm doing whatever I have to do with coloring in this red circle, but they're coloring all the same direction, the same rhythm, the same strength, and that's attention to detail in my eyes, you know?
I was gonna say, it kind of reminds me of this musical idea, or I wouldn't say idea, but it's like a feature. I don't fucking know. But essentially, it's called motifs. So when it comes to like a big score or musical project, and I think like the perfect example is like Kingdom Hearts. You know, you establish like a theme for like a certain character or for a certain situation. Or you might see it in like superhero movies, but like, you know, you have that big triumphant, oh, I'm a superhero, blah, 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 this is Superman's theme type shit. Right. But then, you know, comes later into the movie, you know, you have some trials and tribulations that he's getting over as like the climax. But then the music's different, but there's still some elements of because he's involved. It's his theme, he's overcoming it. So yeah, it may start dark, but then you know, you hear some things, and I said Kingdom Hearts as well because one of my favorite pieces from there is like Jean's theme, and that's from the DS game of it, 365 by 2 days, I believe. That's a really nice like somber melody, because I mean they're nobodies, right? And like apparently she wasn't even supposed to exist. But when the final battle happens, the whole fight is based off of that motif that Jean had. So then it just creates that weight that you know, propels the situation even further. Right. And that's why like attention to detail matters so much, because like even though somebody may not notice it, like some people can still feel it just because of the time that it took to give those little bits of things, you know, attention and love and care, right, towards like the bigger goal.
Right. And you know what, you actually led into our first point for this conversation was, you know, the importance of attention to detail. The small details bring out the bigger picture a lot better in a way that skipping those details would have missed, you know? Like, funny thing, so I was watching, what was I watching this morning? I was watching the old Batman movie, the 1989 Batman, the very first one with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson and all that stuff. And there's some details in there where I can tell, like, y'all didn't care. But then there's other details in there which are amazing, which I'm like, y'all just made this whole movie hit different with this detail. Like, so for example, I'm gonna give you two separate scenes. So for example, there's a scene where Batman's trapped on a bridge and he's about to escape, so he drops the smoke pellets and he, you know, shoots himself up in the air and glides away. But you can tell they probably only had enough money to do that shot like one time or something. Yeah. Because the smoke is on the ground, but you can clearly see this motherfucker's feet and cape flying into the air. Like, everybody can see it, but then the cops come up and they act like they didn't see what happened. Like, where'd he go? And I'm like, terrible. Yeah. Terrible addition to detail. Like, y'all should have made that better. Like, y'all should just looked up in the air and watched him go. Yeah. Just say that we saw you still there.
Instead of filming the smoke with them seeing it.
Yeah. And you can clearly see him still. Like, you can clearly see his feet rising up as the cops walking up. Like, there's no missing that. Yeah. And you can tell in your eyes, there's no way the cops missed this too. Yeah. But for some reason, they just said like, nah, we don't leave that alone. We're not gonna go back and redo that shot.
Probably budget cuts and all that.
Budget cuts, you know, it ain't an important scene.
Old time too.
Old time. Yeah, right, exactly. This is the best we're gonna get. This is the best we're gonna get. But then there's other scenes where, for example, Jack Nicholson playing the Joker. So, you know, at first he starts off the movie just in his regular skin, but then he falls into the vat of acid, and he becomes the Joker with the white skin. But so the logic is now the white skin is his new normal skin. But he wants to make himself look human when he goes outside. So he literally takes like a pale,
foundation.
Exactly, cover up all the white makeup on his face to make himself look human. But now every time you look at it, it just never looks right. You know what I'm saying? Every time you look at it, you can always tell, like, yes, you look like he's supposed to be whatever, but you look like you hiding something all the time.
Yeah.
But I think that attention to detail is amazing to make it so they could have just not painted his face white for that scene.
Yeah.
And make him look perfect. But it's like, nah, let's keep the white paint under this new makeup so we can always have that feeling that he's hiding something, he's in disguise, he's whatever whatever the case may be, but it just gives it that tension now. Mm-hmm. Every time now you see his new character after he fell into the vat of acid,
Right.
Like, I feel like I wouldn't got that same feeling if they would have just, the scenes where he's supposed to be himself, if they would have just let him walk out there with no makeup on at all, I don't think I would got that feeling that this was the Joker still, But
Right.
because you can tell that it's white paint under this beige paint, you can really feel that he looks great, but you can tell it's makeup still. And then there's scenes where he'll wipe his head, and when you wipe his head, all the makeup will come off, you'll see the white paint underneath. And I'm like, I can only imagine how the hell the makeup artist had to do something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the attention to detail from that is making this movie so much more better. Like, it's fucking 2026 right now, and I'm watching a 1989 Batman, and I can't wait to go back and watch the last 40 minutes. You know what I'm saying? To see how it ends. Like, CGI ain't no CGI there. Yeah. All that crap is gone, but those little bitty nuances is making it edible. You know what I'm saying? Making it worth it to watch. And I think that right there is making the outcome stick out a lot better.
No, I agree.
Yes, sir.
I was gonna say, like, I guess, like, another side of, like, paying attention to detail. If you spend the time to give that effort, you tend to catch things that isn't immediately noticeable.
Yes.
One of my favorite horror movies, I wouldn't even guess this is a horror movie, but is Midsummer. And then Hereditary 2 did the same thing, and they're made by the same dude. But in Midsummer, it literally tells you the whole plot of the movie within, like, the first 10 minutes, but it's pictures on the wall. Like, for the intro scene, it tells you the whole story of what's about to happen, but because we didn't, naturally you wouldn't really pay attention to that. You think it's just some intro, and then, of course, we don't know the main story of the movie, but when you give that a rewatch, you see, not only are you catching things in the actual, like, meat of the movie because you're watching it a second time, but now if you did pay attention to that, it's like, oh, well, shit, I should have known what was going to happen. At least to some degree,
Right, if I was paying attention.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, like, that's the things that, like, definitely movies, I think some movies do it really good. They hide the stuff you want to see, or the stuff that's giving you the answers right in plain sight.
Yes.
And you don't, like, pay attention, like, for example, let's talk about the show. We're talking about Death Battle. So those who love YouTube, Death Battle is where they put two characters against each other, whether it's anime, whatever. Anyway, one thing about that show that I like is, yes, you can just watch it and pay attention and really guess who's about to win. But if you really stop and listen to the words they say and the people's powers and, like, just pay attention, at some point they usually, like, throw out something in there that let you know why this character's gonna beat this character.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, who was it? Spawn. So they had the whole Spawn versus fucking Ghost Rider fight. And they talked about, the Ghost Rider's whole story and stuff like that. And literally, the thing that will let you know that Spawn was going to win was when they said when he goes back to hell, he's invincible, pretty much. And if you would have just heard that line, it would have been good. But if you missed it, then you would have really been like, I don't know who's going to win this, but it's like that detail is something you have to catch. But then vice versa, in their earlier times when they created the show, there was multiple times where you'll watch an episode and you're like, I don't know who I'm going to win. And then they'll announce the winner, and then they'll show out something that they didn't show in the beginning. Yeah. And you'd be like, well, damn, if you had told me that, I would have picked this guy to be my winner, But you didn't give me that detail that I needed to really make this conclusion for myself and make it better,
Right.
Like details are so important when it comes to definitely the storytelling aspect of stuff. Because if you leave out details, how can I make this story make sense in my head, or how can I see the story the way you want me to see it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say, it kind of brings me into like, I guess, what happened today, and then I'll say what happened yesterday too.
I say tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Talking to you.
Yeah, I just gotta remember tomorrow real quick.
Right. Can't remember.
But when I got home from therapy, waiting for you to come over, Mom was talking to me about, I guess Tierra and the kids were supposed to come over, and I guess Anaya was trying to get some scrubs, and Grandma said that you would buy them, so Anaya sent her the links, but it was just links, and like there was no what size is it,
what color,
yeah. And it was like, well, you can assume that all that information that you were looked at and selected sent over to it,
but it didn't.
But maybe it's not. But it's more of a better have it and not need it than need it and not have it situation.
Yes.
And that's just important when not only when you're creating something, but like when you're dealing with other people.
Yes.
And that leads me into what happened yesterday. I had a scholar come in, and she. I won't get into why she came in, but she's going to stay in for the period. And, I just asked if whatever happened was happening again. She was like, yeah. And I was like, something, she's really reserved, doesn't talk much, so it's not too much to show. But, like, once you get to know people and pay attention to their details and understand who they are, I could tell something else was up. So I was like, you sure you okay? Like, what's going on? Like, how's home? Blah blah blah. And then, she said that I was kind of dreading telling you blah 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 or whatever, because she just doesn't like to open up. But now that's like because I noticed that detail of her just not acting like she usually does, I was able to address something and help her get wherever she wants to go in terms of that situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, and I fully understand that, bro, because I had a similar situation where it's kind of both our faults. So I have a student where she's about to be my senior of the year. So I'm about to acknowledge her my senior my year, pretty much. So I wrote her a letter of recommendation a long time ago. I wrote it. I know I read it over a few times, but I must have confused her paperwork with the paperwork of her cousin, because her cousin has a lot of siblings and she doesn't. But in her letter of rec, I put that she had like 9 siblings. So I thought I was good though. I sent it to her and I said, read it over, make sure it's good, and let me know if I need to make any changes. She responded back, it looks great, thank you so much. Literally this week, she came to my room and I was writing up the newsletter for her to be whatever, and I was using her rec as my reference because I had a lot of information from her in there. And I was like, okay, you got 9 brothers and sisters? She was like, huh? I was like, you got 9 brothers and sisters, right? She's like, nah, I got 3. And I'm like, you got 3? She's like, yeah, you must have messed me up with my cousin. I'm like, yeah, but why didn't you never say nothing? Like,
I put that in the letter.
Right. So my thing is now right now, so now you have this letter of rec going out to all these colleges and scholarship programs saying you have 9 siblings, but for all I know, we're fucking up right now, because you could be doing your application saying you have 3, and then your letter of rec gonna say 9, and now these people are gonna pay attention and be like, something's not adding up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like those type of details can lose you a scholarship opportunity.
100%.
Can lose you, can lose you so much stuff that we really need to start catching that stuff. And like, I fixed it for her, sent her a new one. I was like, man, wherever you posted this at, you need to go re-upload it, because that was an error, and last thing I want you to do is get in trouble for something stupid like this. A small detail we should have caught can screw up your whole little future right now. You know what I'm saying? So let's go get this fixed, And I think that right there is so important, but a lot of people don't realize the attention to detail is like everything. Like, shit, in this world we're in right now with all these AI videos, you know what I'm saying? I can't even watch a fucking video without trying to look at all the details. Like, if something in that video seems off, I start to look at the trees, start looking at the water, because that's some of the best ways to tell that something is not real or not, or if it's AI generated, because the details are going to be off,
Right.
Yeah.
So to kind of pose like a different question, do you think there should be a balance between having a lot of attention to detail versus not? Because, like, I mean,
You're right, because too much attention to detail can screw you up.
Yeah, because I mean, no, it's for like a simple like example, right? I mean, some people give so much time of their life trying to pay attention to these minute details and find out the secrets of the universe and stuff like that, that they fail to experience life as what it is. So it's like, do you think there should be a balance? And if there is a balance, like, where does that line draw?
I think the line will draw, I'm gonna sound ignorant when I say this, but the line is gonna be drawn to what do I care about and what don't I care about, you know? Like,
that's fair.
For example, fucking Jersey Shore, long time ago. Y'all know the show Jersey Shore, fucking Situation and Snooki and all them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So one thing I caught up on that show was, if you paid attention to that show, a lot of times when they're showing scenes of them out with other people, or there's like some type of guest or something on the show, they're always open toward the camera. Their backs are never to the camera. You know what I'm saying? And like, that was a detail for me that I saw that let me know this was fake TV.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Other people thought it was true reality. They're not scripted or nothing. But you'll see, you'll see like the fakeness of it, or Love and Hip Hop. There's plenty of scenes out there right now. You can Google it. You'll see scenes where Ray J has a do-rag on, and literally it'll cut to one person talking and cut back to the next person talking, and now he has a do-rag and a hat. And then he cuts to the next person, cuts back, and now he has no hat, do-rag on.
Yeah.
And it happens all the time. And it's like, that attention to detail was like, how important is this attention to detail in the story, I guess?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's clear as day that they didn't pay attention to detail, but are you so stuck into the story you don't care about this small detail?
Yeah.
Or is this detail really fucking up the way the story's played? Because this detail is fucking up the story played, I can't continue to watch the story because this detail is always screwed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard for me to watch an AI. It could be a bomb AI video, but then the second I see something that's like, the one body turns to two, I'm like, I can never watch this video again now, because you just screwed up whatever type of lesson, whatever you're trying to get across, you messed that up.
Yeah, I'm like, why not just create it yourself? But that's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
But no, I feel what you're saying.
I don't know if that even makes sense though.
From what I understood, I feel like it depends on like the context.
Yeah, the
and,
context
like you said,
of how it matters to you.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I mean, you played the first game on your phone, but Slay the Spire 2. Really good game. I've been hooked on that recently. But in that game, there's a lot of attention to detail. Is you have to read and like comprehend what this card is doing in order for it to synergize with whatever else you're playing. But if you don't pay attention to it, or keep track of how much energy you have, how much things cost, and then what's possibly going to happen for things like that, then you can very well easily lose the run. Right. And the game is already hard as hell.
Hard, yeah.
Yeah, so, like I said, I think it depends on like the circumstances.
So let's go off that topic you just said now, right?
Okay.
Now let's flip it. Have you ever played a game where, you have some type of stat boost or buff or something, but it doesn't do it? You know what I'm saying? It says this is supposed to happen, but it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Doesn't that like kind of throw you off? Because it's a small detail now. Because now you're looking for this buff to play.
Yeah.
And it's not doing it, and it low key makes you not want to play the game no more. Or you have to switch up something, but
it did happen last night.
Really?
Because I'm playing Slay the Spire with Fernando, and he did a card. He played a card that drew 2 cards, but you had to discard 2 cards. Or no, it was like I think he had a choice to pick 2 cards from his deck, his draw pile. So he did that, and then it came out with just 1 card that he didn't even choose. It was like, what the fuck happened? Yeah, that's supposed to be there. That was the whole point of us trying to win this turn and optimize it.
Yeah.
But now, because that didn't happen, possibly due to a bug or a glitch or something, it's like, okay, well, if I didn't pay attention to that, then I probably wouldn't have a suggestion to give to the developers to, hey, this is a bug, this happened.
Exactly.
Look at it.
Exactly. And as I was about to say, the glitches and the bugs, those are the the overlaps on the detailed presentation, you know what I'm saying? Like, we always hear about, like, the video games, they drop the beta, you know, and it's all glitchy and stuff and buggy because all these little details aren't there, you know? They're just focused on this, that, and third, but they're not focused on the super small things, minute things, like, shit, you hear about that, you hear that all the time playing Apex, like, let this shit glitch out 2 games in a row, we was done for the night, we was probably done for the week almost, until they fix it and provide an update and fix the little details, you know? And, like, even with a lot of, like, video games and stuff like that, the little details is what make us keep it coming back. Like, real talk, Invincible right now, I'm watching Invincible. Great animation, you know what I'm saying, great storyline, but then it was funny because they literally had an episode that they were snitching on themselves on how they make their stuff. So they had an episode where they explained,
like the characters were telling on the creators on how they make the stuff.
Kind of, sort of. So the main character went to Comic-Con and ran to his favorite artist for his book that he loves, his comic book that he loves. And then the dude was like, he literally asked, when's the next season coming out? He's like, oh, you know, the next season's gonna take a little while. Right now we're trying to do it using our, you know, movie magic stuff. He's like, what you mean comic book magic? He's like, well, you know, sometimes we'll have scenes where we'll cover the person's mouth but have them talking still, so that way we can hide that, we can cut animation costs but still keep the voices going. Or we'll do cutback scenes where we'll pull away from the crowd and it looks like they're moving but they're actually not moving at all, we're just dragging the photo slowly. Or we do scenes where it's the back of your head while you're talking, so you don't have to, you know. And he snitched on all the stuff. And then it was funny because then he literally says, the dude says, oh wow, I'm gonna start paying attention to all these details as we continue. And that little snippet made me start to pay attention to the show a little bit more in a different way. Like, they shout out their details, show us, hey, this is how we do our shit. And I was like, I need to watch a little more now because you just showed me details I didn't even care about. Like, I was enjoying the blood and guts of it, but in the storyline. But now it's more stuff for me to pay attention to, and now you got me more hooked because now I'm looking for more of those instances. You know,
I like how you brought that up because it also comes back to like me playing like these tactical shooters recently. Like, there's a lot of information that you have
to take it through, bro.
You gotta pay attention to the time, see how many people are alive on your team before they respawn, what weapon you got, what situation's about to happen based off the other team, and then, you know, on top of that, perform. So it's like, if you want to get good with something, I feel like you definitely have to, pay attention to detail and like the little minute things, because that can really make or break not necessarily the project, but your ability to get better at something.
Exactly, and I fully agree with that one. I think that's a great way to end on it. Like, the attention to details is going to just make you better in every way, shape, and form. Like, yes, you know, I feel like you always have to start with the broad, but you have to start getting down to nitty gritty if you truly want to perfect something. You know, like right now for me holding trivia, I'm nervous right now because somebody just reached out to me and asked me if I can host Jeopardy next week for them at the bar. And I literally just trained for Jeopardy a few weeks ago. So now I'm sitting here like, okay, well, I got the just training, but now I literally need to sit down and go read. And read the full program and read the full script and read everything and really pay attention to those details that's going to make this show go smooth. Shit, I'm even to the point where I'm about to watch Jeopardy just so I can absorb the vibe of Jeopardy. So I can go out there and present this game a lot better, because those small details is going to make it so this game is going to be, all these people going to come back to this bar for this game again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure my voice is going to be good, my music is always good, like my vibe and stuff, but does it feel like Jeopardy? And that small detail can make it so it doesn't feel like Jeopardy or it's not, you know? Like, fuck, if you had a Snickers and it had no peanuts in it, is it still a Snickers?
That's a good question.
You know what I'm saying? That's a real detail, you know? If they put 2 inches of caramel compared to 1, is it still a Snickers or is it now something different? Like, that detail can change so much, bro.
I'm gonna end off on this one too, because you know, I was just telling you before we recorded. So yesterday I'm doing some homework and I had a lab to do, and it told me to like complete this function. By the way, it's programming for those that don't know. So I'm supposed to complete this block of code that does something, and it's teaching me about the topic that I'm learning at the moment. Well, okay, I booted up, put it into my text editor, and I'm like looking at it, and you have to pass like one bit of information to this other part of the program, but it added an extra piece of data, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like,
screwing you up.
Yeah, like, why do we need this? Like, okay, well, we have this is calling that, so it's automatically where it's supposed to be for me to do it, but why did it at this thing? And that was messing me up, especially since my solution to it didn't involve that extra piece of information. So I went to my discussion board for asking questions, and I was like, hey, this happened, like, is there a reason for this? I mean, of course, it's not the instructor's fault because he didn't make the program thing, but he was like, yeah, publisher's mistake or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, honestly, that could mess people up and honestly reduce like program efficiency and stuff like that, because things are being passed and being like, resources are being used so that can happen for nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's deep, bro. And that's like makes it dope though when you catch that detail that other people didn't catch.
Yeah.
And it's like it shows, one, how much you pay attention, and two, it shows you care.
Yes.
Because I was just about to say that too. Like, paying attention to details shows that you care about what you're paying attention to.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's like I was trying to get across earlier. Like, if I don't care, I might not pay attention to detail, but shit. Jessica's nails, when she come in, you got some new nail colors. That's something I need to pay attention to. Pay attention to little details, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. The details, I feel the details show people that you care about them, their art, their work, their project, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, you used to even talk about the music, like, I never realized, I can hear the music in Kingdom Hearts right now, but I never realized the tone changes throughout the game.
Yeah.
And like, that has blown my mind now, and I'm sitting here like, how many of those details did I miss before?
There's a lot, dude. Even if you go back to the like the orchestral music back in the day with like Bach and things like that. Well, especially with Bach, let's just go off of that, right? Bach, like, there's styles of that type of era of music called fugues, and it starts off with the melody, and it has like 4 parts. It starts off with the melody for one part, and then eventually a different part comes in with that same melody, that motif, but in the background that first part is still playing, but it's supporting that second part that comes in.
Bro.
And then the third part comes in with the same melody, and now the other two are bouncing off of each other to help support that one. And then finally the bass comes in with the same melody to give this...
Keep balancing it.
Keep balancing it, yeah.
Giving that dish more flavor.
And even with like Mozart and things like that for the symphonies, you have these motifs that are present in one movement that show up in a different movement. But that just helps tell the story without the words.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and then on top of that, it shows you how much you care about your art too. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I always love about Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers? Painting, right?
The thing is Mr. Oh, no, you're talking about
Bob Ross. Bob Ross, yeah. Mr. Bob Ross, yeah. He always talk about they know bad mistakes, but he always paid attention to all the details inside his paintings. You know what I'm saying? Even though he messed up, he still realized, well, we can make this mistake into something beautiful still.
Yes.
And he'll still do it, and then now you can't even see that mistake in detail no more, because he focusing on the whole detail the whole time throughout his painting, the brush strokes, everything. Every little detail is amazing. So I think that's beautiful. So while we were sitting here talking, I pulled up some quotes for pay attention to details, and I'm curious to hear which ones pay attention to you, or which ones you like. So the first one I have is from Charles R. Swindoll. The difference between something good and something great is attention to detail. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can tell just between some good eggs and some good seasoned eggs. Another one I have is from George St. Pierre. When you pay attention to detail, the big picture will take care of itself.
Yes.
So I think that right there is beautiful. All the people out there watching anime and video games, you already know. When you guys are playing something, that music just cuts out randomly and it's like, something ain't right.
Yeah.
That makes your whole experience messed up, So I think that right there is beautiful. And then the last one I have is from Robert Cheek. It says, pay close attention to detail in whatever it is you are doing. Be specific and expect quality from your performance. And I think that's something too. Your attention to detail is showing that I expect good quality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I expect my product to hold up with whatever I'm putting it out against,
Right.
And I think that's beautiful.
I feel like, I mean, well, I would say this is, I guess, controversial-ish, but like, you know, with all these new businesses coming out and stuff like that, like, I understand the purpose of just getting started, but like, then there's no improving, and then there's also no like quality, like you were saying, because some of these people are just trying to get the quick buck rather than making a quality product that's going to stick and have people drawn to it and stick and, like, you know, gain that what's that, customer loyalty.
Yeah, that loyalty. Yeah, that attention to detail goes a long way, bro.
That, and
like,
you know, a lot of the name brands and shit like that don't have that great of a detail, and then I often find like sometimes the most reliable things that I get are like some side companies, or like small companies.
No.
Yeah.
Look, prime example for the story. So, you know, I got the AirPods from work. Originally, I had a N64 case, so it looked like an N64. But the lines in the front never lined up. The top and the bottom never lined up. I twisted it, I moved it, and it was to the point where that not lining up made me not want the whole product. I sent it back, and I got something. And this one right here, you can see the attention to detail. All the lines add up. It has the perfect hole for the lanyard to match the AirPod case. You know, when you add the light, the green light is perfectly in the center of the light they want it to be on. Like, it's magnetic. It does everything it said it's supposed to do. Right. Like, it kept true to its detail compared to while I was looking for these cases, I was going on a TikTok shop. Nigga, I was looking for a morpher, a Power Ranger morpher. Yeah. Took it like that, and all of them look cool, but then when you start looking at the detail, it looks smudgy. It looks real, just like y'all just printed on some stuff. It looks real bad, and it's like, yeah, I don't want that. That detail is not there. Like, it might look good from far away, but me seeing it up close, I'm not gonna like it every time because I can see a detail.
No, right, 100%.
You know? 100%. So yes, I think that's beautiful. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys heard something today. When it comes to keeping attention to detail, anything you're working on?
Honestly, just you know, there's some personal things going on where I'm just paying attention to how things are moving, and then as well as just continuing to do school. And I mean, yesterday kind of put me on the right, or let me know I was on the right track in terms of just paying attention to the things I need to pay attention to for my own benefit, and then also doing my best to kind of share that with others too, so they don't get misled. Right.
Exactly. I feel that one. Yeah, no, I'm on the same level right now. I think I'm just trying to, when it comes to paying attention for details for me, I'm really trying to pay attention to these patterns and to what the universe is trying to tell me and figure out what I'm missing. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like there's messages being there, but because I'm not focused on the details like that, I'm missing it. But once I do start to focus on the details, it starts to hit a little better. So, and I feel like today was a prime example of that, because I started just like, you know, I'm just going to focus on relaxing and whatever, and then out of nowhere, another opportunity to make money came, and I was like, oh.
Might as well.
Yep, exactly. Let me stop, think, marinate on the thought. Yep, let's do it. Make money. So, yeah, I think that's beautiful.
No, I feel.
Yes, sir. But, yes, with all that being said, we hope you guys appreciate our conversation today. We hope they helped you out in some way, shape, or form. If you have anything you want to share, you already know you can reach out to us, IG, Twitter, TikTok, Gmail, whatever you want to do. But with all that being said, we hope you guys have a great day, a marvelous afternoon, a splendid evening, and remember to
just keep swimming.